You are now listening to the Vitalize Podcast. Hey, yo, what up, family? Welcome back to the Vitalize Podcast. You're here with your friendly neighborhood host, Mr. Marcus Black, and I'm so excited, elated, ecstatic, and all the other E-words to let you know I'm happy to be in your presence today, man. If you are listening to this on Apple, Spotify, wherever you take in your podcast, you can't see I got this jovial smile on my face, but how could I not be anything but smiling knowing I get to spend the next 17 hours with you? Yeah, I said it, 17 hours. I'm kidding. Somebody just please don't do this. Don't have an accident. Somebody just tensed up so hard and he's like, oh Lord, that just caught you off guard. Nah, it ain't gonna be that long. But it wouldn't feel like work, honestly, being with you guys, because that's how much I care. And that's how great of a time we have together. You guys seriously have blown me away. Thank you for all of you who have entered into and submitted yourself in the hat to come have an opportunity to tell your story on the Vitalize Podcast. So shout out to you. Listen, if you don't know how they did that, you can still enter. I'm getting ready to wrap that up and pick somebody who I want to bring on. And it's going to be random. I'm not going to pick who I like. It's going to be randomized. Maybe we'll do something so you guys can see that. But it's going to be randomized, but all you got to do is literally go find me on YouTube and subscribe to the channel. Boop, subscribe. And then let me know in the comments that you did. And then I want you to find me wherever you listen to podcasts, whether that be Apple, Spotify, rate and review. Leave a rating and a review. I ain't telling you what the review is. It's whatever you think it is. Like if you think it's worth 5 stars, do it. If you think it's only not, then do whatever you feel. But doing that and finding me on Instagram at mblackspeaks and sending that out, letting me know, proof, enters you into that to have an opportunity to come and tell your story. So shout out to you. I'm excited for that process. And this is an incredible time. There's no greater time than right now to let you know this episode has officially been sponsored by my incredible friend and my business partner with Embrace Your Ambition. This episode has been sponsored by Embrace Your Ambition. You can find them in my Instagram bio. I am part owner of that movement. It is an incredible faith-based personal development movement. We are currently prepping for our big annual conference. If you want to know all the details about them and why you should come and hug my neck and meet me in the flesh and let's record some videos or have me on your podcast in person in Denver, Colorado, June 1st through the 4th, all you got to do is visit www.eyambition.com. That's www.ambition.com. And check that out, man. You can go and check out the event. You can see the past speakers. You can see highlights, and you can see what you get. And right now, it's proud to pay. That means you can pay whatever you want to go to that conference. That's crazy. 3-day conferences normally start at $300 and work them ways up to like $3,000. Between $300 and $3,000, you could pay whatever you want. Seriously, no amount, proud to pay. So check that out. Thank you for sponsoring Embrace Your Ambition. Shout out to you. I got one I really want to talk to y'all about today. If you've been a part of this community and you've joined, welcome to the tribe. There's no such thing as a second-time guest. So once you pull up your seat to this table, you agreeing that we family now, family. You stuck with me because you can. So I want to talk to you about something that's near and dear to my heart, and it may be near and dear to yours. And this is something, if you've listened to my book, if you've read my book, if you checked out Asleep at the Wheel, taking back control of your life. You know there's a chapter in there, chapter 2. And chapter 2, yeah, of course, you're like, yeah, there's a chapter 2. There's several chapters. Yeah, but chapter 2 is called It's a Hard Knock Life. And it's about some of my earliest struggles that I faced in this life, the biggest being the kicker, and that is a monster. And that is a monster that haunts more people than almost any other sickness and disease in existence known to man. And that monster is not the kind that lives in closets or hides out under beds. No, it's a very real monster, and it's one that's probably affecting at least one out of every three of you listening or watching this podcast. And that monster is none other than anxiety. Anxiety is a monster that's haunted me for years, and mine revolved around this extreme fear of death and dying. So I catered my life to this extreme fear. And so as a kid, I didn't do anything. I don't want to ride a bike. My friends used to do crazy stuff like go to the top of this huge hill and ride as fast as they can down the hill, to another hill, down. No, I ain't doing that. That's death. Go get in the lake. I ain't doing that. That's death. Go swim in the ocean. You know what lives in the ocean? That's death. Everything that was adventures, ride a roller coaster, enjoy a theme park, that's death. I ain't doing it. Get on an airplane. I ain't doing it. Because that's death. And I'll pause here. And this could be triggering for someone who has the same fear that I had. Trust me, I promise you. Here is my guarantee to you. If you ride with me through this episode, I will always leave you better than I found you. I promise you. On the back end of this, you're going to feel so much greater and so much peace. I want to tell you in how I've been able to overcome and how I have now live in a place where that same worry and fear, it comes and goes, but it doesn't haunt me like it once did. It doesn't cripple me like it once did for years. That was a recurring nightmare that played on a loop in my mind again and again and again. I wish I could tell you that it just went away and it was all sunshine and rainbows after. But that's not the case. But that's okay, because if you ride with me today, I'm going to give you some very good news, and I'm going to help you overcome the thing. And it comes with a few practical things you can do and a few mindset shifts you got to make. And so this one is close to me because it's special. And so I'll tell you, this is what really got me to thinking and spurred me along this. So recently, I literally got my first tattoos, and I will show them to y'all. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I don't know if you can see this, but maybe. I'm just going to hold it up anyway. So this says Live in Love with the Vitalize logo. I know it's upside down, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Check it out. And then this one is much larger and actually matches my hoodie. If you can see that, it says, because you can, right? So I got these tattoos, and you're like, dang, you got two. But I got the first one, the smaller of the two, and I went in, I was a little nervous, and I ain't gonna lie, he was tap dancing on my vein, which is making my nerve twitch a little bit, and it might have hurt just a little bit, but it was small, clean, easy, cool, right? And I always heard people say, don't go get your first one because it's gonna be addicting. Don't go get your first one because it's gonna be addicting. And I was like, man, whatever, hush. And then 2 weeks later, literally 2 weeks to the day after I got the first one, is when I got the second one. And I was like, dang, what if they were right? And here's the thing. Was there some pain? Yeah, there was. On the second one, it was much bigger. It was a whole lot of pain and a whole lot of swelling. But it was exactly what they said it would be, addicting, right? So here's what resonated with me when I realized that. It's the same thing when I think about life in itself. And this is when life changes. This is when you can overcome your extreme fear of death and dying. You can eliminate that and the anxiety that comes from not just those fears, but whatever your fear is. And that is when the joy of triumph becomes greater and exceeds the pain of failure and regret. When the joy exceeds that pain. And this was the joy of me literally getting to tell the world, this is what I stand for in a nutshell. On one arm, live in love. On the other arm, because you can. The reminder to myself to live and embody that message fully outweighs any other pain I experienced temporarily in that moment. And I want you to know the joy in this life and the triumph of knowing that you had it all along. The joy of winning, the joy of living the life that you love, the joy of creating something greater than you ever thought you could, the joy of putting your gift on the table and realizing that you could win all along, the joy of showing up and making an impact in the world is so much greater than any of those fears that have been holding you back your whole life. And this is about understanding. That was something very physical and practical, but the lesson that it taught me is that something painful can have so much purpose on the other side, and we don't gotta fear the pain that comes with it, because on the other side of pain is always purpose. On the other side of pain is always passion and purpose. So some of you been going through pain. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's keep it real. Maybe you've been experiencing the pain of the loss of a loved one. There is a hole in your heart forever the size of that human being. My condolences to you, my love to you, my prayers to you. But just know, if you've been experiencing that pain, you're not alone. A whole lot of other people listening here been experiencing that pain too. And I want you to know that that person who you've been missing is still with you. They're always with you. You're going to see them. You're going to feel them. You're going to hear them. But no, you keep them alive by going and building a legacy of greatness. And you help give that pain a purpose by serving other people once you show them how you overcame, how you kept going, how you pressed through, and how you show them and make them proud, that person you loved so much. Maybe you've been going through a breakup and you thought this was it. You thought this was the one. You thought you could literally give your all, your heart and your soul to the situation, only to have the rug pulled from under you and feel like your heart has been shattered into a million pieces. And it's like, where do I even start? It's too broken for me to even move. Guess what? You start piece by piece. You just pick up the piece, one piece at a time, and you keep taking steps in this life, because the more you take steps, you'll realize that what you lost wasn't really a loss, but actually protection for you from something that could have been a lot worse down the road. And that's hard to see when you're in a moment of losing. Same thing when you lose a job. Same thing when you lose a business. Same thing when all these negative things happen that create pain in our lives are just ushering you into something greater that you didn't even know was in front of you and you didn't even realize was something that you needed and something that you wanted so dearly. So know that pain produces passion and purpose. If you don't give up, if you keep going, if you keep walking. And I want you to understand that just like they say with that pain that you feel in the tattoo, right? Everybody's saying it's addicting, it's addicting, it's addicting, right? But once you've tasted it and seen that you are stronger and you can overcome, then all you want is that again and again, and you want it again, right? You want it again. I'm already thinking about my next 3. Then I ain't gonna go crazy, I promise. I ain't gonna put them on my pretty face. I'm being facetious. But I have already thought through a couple of things that I want to communicate that are important to me, right? So what does that mean to you? Once you overcome that fear, and you don't let those things hold you back anymore, and you actually get yourself in the game, right? And you start playing to win, what's going to happen? If you don't give up, if you don't let the pain stop you, if you don't let the obstacles stop you, if you don't let the adversity stop you, your pain might be different from mine. Anxiety might not be a thing for you, may have never been, but something is your pain point. Once you push past that and you start to experience the success, because success is inevitable in your life if you don't give up. They always say that success and failure run the same course. The only difference is failure quit before it achieves success. You're literally on the same path. And the difference between the successful and those who are not is those who are not quit prematurely versus those who are successful just kept going. They just kept going. And once you start to taste success, It's just like, you know that there's going to be pain a part of the process. You know that I heard Ice Cube say recently on a viral reel, he's like, if you ain't prepared to go 5 years pouring your heart and soul into your craft, your heart, your business, and not get a dime back in return because everything you get is investing back into the business, then don't even start. This is his words, not mine. And I'm just saying, he was telling you that if you entrepreneurship, and y'all know several of y'all entrepreneurs is like, boy, he speaking my language. He get it. Yes, I do. It's hard on us because you don't know. You got to depend so many things outside of your control, but you got to focus on what you can control. But here's the thing. When my podcast first started getting a little bit of success, guess what? It had me in the studio making sure that I do more. When my reels and my Instagram, when my speaking engagement started really taking off, I wanted to do more. Why? Because once you taste success, you can never untaste it, right? Just like when you taste Vegemite. My Australians, I love y'all. It's my family. I love you to death. But I do not love Vegemite. It tastes like death to me. Maybe it's because y'all caked it on my first piece of toast and you were supposed to do it light. Okay, maybe. I try it again right one day. But I can never untaste that, ever. And that's a funny example. But what I'm saying is just like with success, you can never untaste success. Once you get a little bit of it, you want more. Once you get a little bit more, you want more. Once you get it, and it's not bad to want more because at the end of the day, it's about what the more is for. It's never bad to want more if you're using more to impact somebody else. Whose life is better because you got more? Who's impacted because you got more? I'm not going to lie to you. I want this to go exponential. I want this YouTube channel to blow up. I want the podcast to go to 100 countries. It's on like 195 countries in the world. So we already ain't a fourth of the world listeners in these countries. If you are listening to this, by the way, in my international audience, shout out to you. Thank you. I appreciate you. If you're an American or you speak English speaking person in another country rocking with your boys, shout out to you. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. Thank you for helping give this message wings. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate y'all. But I wanted to keep growing. Why? I wanted to be more. Why? Because I want to be able to make a bigger impact. I want to give back even more. I want to create more opportunities for incredible people like you whose voice needs to be heard. I want to fulfill my mission on the planet because when I fulfill my mission on the planet, those things that once haunted me don't haunt me no more. That anxiety can't cripple me no more because it comes from this fear of death when I realized I was already walking dead by not living. So I had to start living, fam. So if you've been watching and you've been having a difficult time and you're trying to figure out how to put all the pieces of this together, what I want you to know is this. You can defeat a huge part. And listen, some people need medicine. If you got to take the medicine, take it, fam. Like, do what you need to do to help yourself. That is a tool to help yourself. And I'm going to give you some practical tools right now. You know, anxiety and depression cannot live in the same place as gratitude. Try it. Try me and see. It's the hardest thing to do is to move yourself when you're in a rut. But if you can force yourself to write down 50 things you're grateful for, the smallest things, like fingers that move, thoughts, my eyes, my mind. I'm grateful for my children, my boys. I'm grateful for my wife. I'm grateful for this podcast. I'm grateful for friends. I'm grateful for family. I'm grateful that my heart is working and I'm not dying because I was in the hospital a few weeks ago and they were talking to me about like I might not be here. I'm grateful that's not the case. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. What happens is your inner workings start to change. And once you have an attitude of gratitude, then it eliminates all those things that you're fearful and worried about because you are reminding yourself, like Eckhart Tolle said, to be in this moment, the power of now. He wrote a book about it. Because if you can pull yourself into the now and not worry about what may or may not happen outside your control, you can learn to defeat those things that are holding you back. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the secret sauce, gratitude, living in the moment. What are you grateful for? Listing it out and isolating. The last step is isolating yourself from the noise. Silencing the noise. What is the noise that's holding you back? TV, Netflix and chill, streaming. What is it? And I'm not telling you give up the things that give you peace or your escape. I'm just saying you can't spend 5 hours on that, fam. Cut that in half. Spend 2.5 hours watching your favorite movie, your favorite show, binging, and the other 2.5 doing something that your future self is going to thank you for, pouring into yourself, brand building, or getting yourself quiet for at least 15 minutes to silence that noise. I go to the lake. If you watch my content, you see me at the lake a lot. What am I doing? No phone, no notifications, no TV, no nothing. Just me, the wind smacking my face, the waves crashing, my heart and soul at peace. And those are the practical physical things that helped me overcome that pain of those things that crippled me. But once I made those practical things to help me, then I shifted my mind to realize that what I have to live for is greater than that fear of death and dying. What I have to live for, what's in front of me, the dreams I have, the goals I have, the mission I'm on, the people I want to help and serve and impact is so much bigger. And that drives me so much more. And I've tasted and seen what success looks like, and nothing is going to stop me from going out and getting more of it. Ain't no human that can stop me. Only I can stop me. And the only way I can stop me is if I sit down, minimize my light, play small, and not show up with the gift. And the only thing that can stop you is you. I can't stop you. Nobody can stop you. A lack of resources can't stop you. A lack of time can't stop you, because you got time. You got time. You make time for what's important to you. Even if it's you got to get up 1 hour earlier each day or stay up 1 hour later just to give yourself the time you need, because I'm telling you, it's worth the sacrifice. Because once you taste it, you learn how success is addicting. Just like I tasted the tattoos, and I'm going to plan the next one. If one of y'all want to bless me for my birthday, it's a long time away from now. But if you want to bless me for my birthday with that next tattoo, I appreciate you. But I tasted it. And I know what it looks like on the other side, purpose. And I've tasted success, and I know what that feels like. And we ain't going back. And I want you to ultimately taste success as well. And you ain't going back once you do. How do you do that? Show up with the gift every day. Don't take no days off. I don't mean don't take a mental health day. I just mean like every day you think about what Sally is doing and what Johnny is doing. That's what they used to say when I was in school. Sally and Johnny. I don't know who Sally and Johnny are. I don't know why they had to be the scapegoats. But listen, Sally and Johnny, you worried about what they doing. You done spent 3 hours looking at Sally's Instagram and her TikTok and seeing her traveling the world and doing everything she want to do and wishing for the life Sally lived. You done look at Johnny and his 6-pack and wishing that you could look like him and that you had that life and you could go get custom tailored suits and do all this stuff. And you just looking at them and hoping and wishing and scrolling and hoping and wishing and scrolling and hoping and wishing and scrolling, feeling worse and worse and worse about yourself. You ain't got time for that. No more, not on my watch. Instead, you got to only focus on you and your journey, because your race is your race and you got to run your race. There's a reason why they have lanes when they race. You got to stay in your lane. If you step in somebody else's lane, you get disqualified. Stay in your lane. When horses race, they put blinders on them so they don't get distracted by what's going on around them. There's a reason for all of this. There's a science. There is a method to the madness. Don't you get yourself out here distracted and pulled off of your goals. Because you got somewhere you want to be. You got something you want to achieve. And what I'm telling you is that if you're willing to put in the work and take the steps, listen, the dream don't work unless you do. If you're willing to take these steps, then you will become successful. And once you've tasted that type and that level of success, you ain't never going back. And you're going to start to sacrifice more. When I tasted success, I sacrifice more. I sacrifice more leisure time. I can't hang out today. We're going to play basketball. I can't do that right now. because I got to focus on this, because this is moving. This is growing. The community's growing. The words are growing. The impact is growing. And I feel alive. And when I feel alive, I ain't worried about no death. That's going to happen when it happens, but I can't control that. Focus on what I can control. And what I can control is how I move and what I do with my time. And what you can control is how you move and what you do with your time. So the charge is simply this: use your time on things that are going to pay you back. Use your time on things that bring your heart and soul joy. Use your time on things that leave a legacy that's bigger than you, that's deeper than you, that serve others and that make an impact. And use your time on the things that you love. Stop worrying about those things you don't love, and stop worrying about those people who don't love you. Taste and see that success is good and go get it. Go get more of it. Become addicted to building something that you love, the life that you love to live, and go make it happen every single day of your life, because you can. Let's go. Vitalize.